Everyone, welcome back. My name is Zain. Let's have a look at Polestar SPAC. Is the Guzgukenheim GGPI stock the best SPAC in recent years? That's the real question. Not just is it the best SPAC, but is it worthy of the 2022 market? Obviously, 2022 market has been crazy so far. We've had multiple dips and we've had a few crashes. Sad to see for most that the market is spinning in different directions, in all directions. But in my opinion, Guzgukenheim stock right now, the GGPI share, it's heavily undervalued, especially for the upcoming merger with Polestar at the end of June. The shareholders voting will be taking place next week. And not to mention, Polestar is releasing a new vehicle this year. That's the Polestar 3 SUV, and it's beautiful. Everything about this vehicle is absolutely stunning and beautiful. From what we can see so far, I really like this vehicle in every single way. Ultimately, the real question is, how will people react to this vehicle when its full debut is in October this year? We've had images so far, but we haven't had a full debut. We know a few key information about this vehicle, such as the range. It's huge, over 600 kilometers on a single charge. That's a serious threat for the likes of Porsche and Tesla. Now, most people are saying there is a big incentive to vote to agree with the SPAC merger on the 22nd of June. And a lot of people are surprised that Polestar isn't getting enough attention. They're not getting enough recognition, especially with their new image that they released of the Polestar 3. I don't think they're getting the full EV experience. In 2021, the market was crazy. But in 2022, it's heavily calmed down. And sadly, Polestar is a victim of this demise. So we have to look forward. What is Polestar's long-term potential? And that's a key thing, because Polestar is doing better than Lucid, they're doing better than Rivian, and these are recent IPOs and recent SPAC mergers. Polestar delivered up to 28,000 vehicles last year, I believe, or was it 30,000? It was quite incredible. But my point is, Lucid and Rivian, I believe Lucid probably delivered less than 500, Rivian built about 1,000, but they delivered 0. And that was for last year. This year it's a different story. Rivian is aiming to deliver up to 20,000, I believe. Polestar is aiming to deliver up to 50,000. Lucid, I have no idea where Lucid is at, to be honest, but they are building out a lot of vehicles. Keep in mind that Lucid vehicles are way more expensive, and they're aiming at the luxurious market like a Porsche Taycan or a Tesla Model S. So they're going to sell significantly less vehicles than Polestar or even Rivian. Rivian is aiming at a huge market, the SUV market, and they're building their cars within the United States, which makes them more expensive, but it also keeps on the import cost, so you got that going for you. But my point is, out of a lot of these EV companies, Polestar is doing the best, yet they're not getting the attention they deserve. Seriously, look at the insane attention Rivian constantly seems to receive. And yet, they've delivered less than 5,000 vehicles. Whilst if we look at Polestar, we look at the attention they're receiving, it's minimal. It's minimal to say the least, but Polestar is delivering way more vehicles, and Polestar is coming out with a second EV this year, and it's an SUV. The difference in representation is mind-blowing. But keep in mind, Polestar is a Swedish company. They're partly owned by Geely, which is a Chinese company, and partly owned by Volvo, which is a Swedish company as well. They're not a full-fledged American company. They don't get the attention from the American market like Rivian do or like Lucid do. And Rivian and Lucid certainly has way more funding. I mean, seriously, Rivian IPO'd at like 80 to 90 billion. It was quite insane. And they're completely overvalued. But the reason why that is because a lot of angel investors are actually holding on to their shares because they know one day Rivian will be worth like 200 billion, but today is not that day. And 5 years from now, it won't be that day. But eventually they'll get there. So they're holding on. Despite the fact that the Rivian shares is losing a lot of value, a lot of people have sold, but a few haven't. That's because they have the patience. Good for them. But yeah, for Polestar, after delivering 29,000 vehicles last year, they met their delivery goal, and that was a huge deal. They had 60,000 vehicles planned for this year, or just over. But unfortunately, because of constraints of delivery, because of manufacturing constraints and difficulties, and not to mention the expensive battery supply, the expensive lithium ion that has to go to these batteries, the expensive cobalt, extremely expensive resources being piled into these EVs. And let's be honest, long term it's not sustainable, and that's why Elon Musk recently said that Tesla is looking to get involved with the mining economy, the mining market, the mining business, mining lithium. I would love to see Polestar do something similar because I think they have the potential as well. Given that Polestar is owned by a gigantic company such as Geely and Volvo, they're all going electric. To create one huge company that mine resources such as lithium and cobalt, this would be great for all of Geely's companies, all of Volvo companies, including Polestar. Now, if we look on the other hand, we look at Lucid and we look at Rivian, they're not even thinking about this anytime soon. They're focusing more on just trying to get their cars on the road. Well, for Polestar, we're already on the road, with 55,000 vehicles already on the road by Polestar. Keep in mind, Rivian and Lucid is trying to catch up to Polestar. They're trying to catch up to Polestar, a company who's getting significantly less investment and significantly less advertisement, free advertisement and publicity and attention from the wider media and EV space. This is the company they're trying to beat. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's bizarre, I know, but this is what makes Polestar GGPI share extremely valuable. And it's undervalued at the moment. It's extremely undervalued, but it won't stay that way for a long time. People will eventually realize that Polestar is going to be one of the top players in the EV market, and they're beating a lot of other EV companies. They're beating them to the market, they're beating them with deliveries, and they're beating them with quality of design and quality of vehicles. So thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to see more, and I'll see you in my next video.